What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody back again with another video, and this time I am doing one of my personal favorite series called Act the Pimp, and we're essentially beating our boy Phil to the punch. Oh my lord. So I posted a post out on my community page and you guys responded. Thank you very much. We ended up getting about 90, I think, questions, so I appreciate that. Let me just go through it randomly and I will answer your questions as best as I can. So our first question here is from Five Eyes. What is up, Pimp? Let's see. Will cat break the microwave warming up all of the festive excuse me, I'm a little tired. Will cat break the microwave warming up all that festive mail order prepared meals this Thanksgiving? Or will Phil add it to the Christmas Begathon list? Well, you guys know that our boy has dropped in memberships. He is down to 354 members. So I'm expecting tomorrow his bag will focus mainly on his tips for his day off. But come Thursday when he's back and in full swing and his I think he's doing Ask the King, whatever, or yeah, that's what he's doing. He's doing Ask the King. He will do a mega begathon for his memberships. So I think he may bring up the broken microwave, and he'll blame Cat and basically said, yes, the microwave's going to cost, no lie, $1,500 to repair, and he has to pay someone to install the microwave, and yes, it's a very time-consuming job. So I'm gonna say yes. All right, our next question is from Dono Reno. Do you think Phil will ask his family members if they want a membership at the dinner table during Thanksgiving? Well, if you follow the lore, you know that DSP real family is his horse and his cat. He lives in Washington and his family lives in Connecticut. So our boy Phil is too busy of being a successful businessman to actually take a few days off from streaming and travel to see his elderly parents. So as DSP stated many times, the next time he'll probably see them will be at their funeral. No lie, I'm not making this up. He's actually said this. So no, he may send them a text though. He may send them a text and wish his parents a Merry Christmas, and then ask them if they want a membership. So good question. Let's see. Gonzo Shitcock. Great name. After following for excuse me. After following him for as long as you have, how long do you think it will be until we get to watch the pig downfall? So the only way I think the downfall occurs is if he gets departnered from YouTube. Then he'll be forced to go back to Twitch. As you know, he's departnered on Twitch as well, but at least there he'll be able to get he'll be able to get tips there, and may have an opportunity may have an opportunity to get partnered back up with Twitch. You never know, he might get lucky that way. What'll end up happening is if he gets a partner from YouTube and he tries to only live off of tips, he will ramp up the whole Patreon thing back up and try to live off of Patreon and tips, which means he'll increase his tip goal. That may last for a little bit, but if he doesn't get repartnered with Twitch, then our boy Phil it's over for Phil. There's no way he can live off of tips alone. I mean, a normal person could. I mean, I think I did a video the other day that showed as of January to last week, our boy Phil has made for super chats and for tips, he's made like, I think it was like $89,000. So a good bulk of that was the tips. So for a normal person, if they supplement their income with a part-time job, they can make ends meet. But Phil has so much debt. He does have so many bills. He's still paying his back taxes. He's still paying the condo dues. He does have significant amount of bills, but a lot of it is due to his stupidity in his making. And we all know he has his vices, which consume a lot of his money. So If he gets partnered by YouTube and doesn't get repartnered by Twitch, then he's done. And the way things are going for Phil, he may lose his partnership with YouTube soon. Yeah. Alrighty. Absolute Up is the next question here. What mental illness do you suspect? What mental illness do you suspect our boy Dave to have? He's obvious gambling and binge drinking addiction, as well as entitlement. But I think those are symptoms of well, some of that comes from being an only child. Phil, from what I gather from his telling of his childhood and stuff, it sounded like his parents kind of gave him free reign, let him do essentially what he wanted, and rarely ever said no to him. And I mean, if you've ever known single, families with just with one child, sometimes, not always, but sometimes that is a recipe for disaster. I come from a very big family, and I have cousins that come. I have I think 2 cousins that are they came from a family where they were the only children, and both of them have severe issues. I believe, I don't know if you want to classify narcissism as a mental illness, but I think our boy Phil does suffer a strong case of narcissism, which impacts a lot of his decisions and his thought, his thought process, how he engages with people. And if you're a successful person and you can harness that narcissism and use it appropriately, it works. But he uses it for everything, and that doesn't work in real life. He might be on the spectrum, not to say full-blown autism, but I do think he does have some mental blocks here. One of the things too is that I truly believe he has trouble sympathizing and having empathy for people and for situations. He struggles with that, and that can be a form of mental illness. But if he's on the spectrum or stuff like that, I don't think so. He does exhibit a little bit of OCD just by his strict regimen with his schedule and stuff like that, and him diverting just throws him the hell off. So yeah. Okay, whatever works. How is it possible that he's always right? It simply boggles my mind. Like I said earlier, he is a narcissist. And Phil has kind of a bit of a Napoleon complex. Everyone has that one friend or one relative that has that kind of Napoleon complex where they feel inferior. Well, they won't say this, but they feel inferior, and they always feel the need to show people that 1, they're intelligent, 2, that they're witty, 3, that they're a great person, or they have some kind of admirable quality or skill that other people don't possess. And Phil's strictly that way. Phil thinks that he has these qualities about himself that make him a unique individual, and he's not. He's just your run-of-your-mill moron and smug, narcissistic person. So there's nothing unique about Phil whatsoever. The only thing unique about him is that he sure knows how to beg. But as it relates to him being right, no, people like that are ever rarely right. A good example of that is Wings. Wings is the same exact way. That's why Wings argues with people when he doesn't even know the facts or fully understands the situation. He just throws out, he has that nugget of truth or that nugget of information, and he builds his whole argument over it. And once he gets caught in something that contradicts what he believes, he just fights back and argues back, calls people stupid, and shuts down the argument, which Phil does. Let's see. Mun's Autobahn 7. This is a much more sober question, and it relates to Catherine. Do you think Phil is into domestic violence, and how much money does he take from Catherine? Well, no, I don't see that. I don't see domestic violence from a physical perspective. I do think that Phil manipulates Cat and I think that he uses tactics. He's a control freak, and that extends to his personal life. And I can see him shutting down Kat when it comes to social media and that stuff. Her family, her friends. It's a way to control people, and it's usually done by insecure people that fear that those people are going to wake up one day and realize that what they're doing isn't working and they're going to want to leave. So it's kind of a way of control. I think he tried to do it with Pandali, but Pandali was way too stubborn and way too independent to allow that. And that's why she ultimately left. She was like, no, this isn't for me, I'm out. So as it relates to domestic stuff, no, I don't think so. I don't see that, but I can see Phil manipulating her to get his way. And how much money he takes out of it, I'm pretty sure the wages Cat gets goes directly into his bank account to pay, air quotes, bills. And he probably just gives her a stipend a week, gives her like $100 to spend on herself every week. Edwin, who do you feel worse for, Cat for having to be married to Dave, or Dave for having to be married to Cat? Definitely, I don't feel sorry for any of them. They both entered this. I think their marriage is a marriage of convenience, very similar to Wings and Kelly. So essentially, they bring something to the table. Dave brings a home, some financial securities, and Kat brings kind of domestic abilities and those type of things. So DSP gets a soulmate, and Kat kind of gets a father figure to protect her. Essentially, that's what it is. So it's a marriage out of convenience. So I don't feel bad for either of them. So they both know what they got into, and whatever happens, they both deserve whatever they get. Unkept torque. Let me see. Unkept torque. Close. Unkept orc. My bad. Alrighty. Who's the first one to be driven completely off the internet? Wings, Boogie, or DSP? Wings. I think Wings, unlike Boogie and DSP, who complain about depression and mental illness and stuff like that, I do think Wings does suffer a bit of it, of mental stress. And I think it does impact his body and stuff. And he takes it to heart when people do criticize him or make fun of him. He acts like he doesn't, but he does. And I truly believe, he is lazy and doesn't want to work. And he sees this as an easy way of making income. But I think that he's going to have a breakdown soon. He's had it in the past, but that money was good back then, so he kept doing what he was doing. But eventually, I think with his health deteriorating, him getting bigger, him getting older, I think Wings is going to have to leave the internet soon and probably go on disability. Phantom A. If you could see DSP do a redemption run in one game he previously played for this is how you don't play to be made out of it, ideally a higher difficult available, which game would you... Metal Gear Solid. Definitely Metal Gear Solid, because I'm pretty sure he'll still screw that up. Christian, as a child, what was your version of the Uncanny Wolverine Fogarine? What was my version of it? Let's see. When I was a kid, I was big into Transformers. So I remember having Optimus Prime, Megatron, and I had Starscream and the Dinobots. But I always wanted Soundwave. Soundwave was just awesome. Soundwave was the one that transformed into a recorder, and then he had the little robots inside of him. That was my version of the Wolverine figure. So I never got Soundwave, and it was something that I kind of always wanted, but it wasn't something where I bitched and complained to my parents about and said, I want a Soundwave figure, and if I don't get it, I'm gonna in 40 years I'm gonna be talking about it and saying you were terrible parents. I would never do that. I was grateful for everything my parents gave me. Izuna? Do you think DSP will live to see 2030 with Jasper? 2030 with Jasper even live to see 2030? Alternatively, let's see, Jasper's what, 3 or 4 years old? So yeah, Jasper maybe, maybe Jasper. Phil is a what we like to call a roach, and we all know there's only 2 things that survive. Well, 3 things that survive a nuclear holocaust: Twinkies, roaches, and Phil. So he'll be around. His life expectancy, I can see it probably being 70, 80, but with just a lot of physical ailments. Yeah. He's one of those people that, you know, will live to be his life expectancy, whatever that is. I think it's 75, 77. He may see that, but he'll just have a lot of medical issues he will need to deal with for most of his life. Mayan, do you think we'll get DSP? Will get a paper dishwasher to wash all his paper plates? No, because excuse me, Phil is a consumer, and he does what most people do with paper plates: is he throws them out. They're disposable, and much like his entire life, his whole life is disposable. So he has no problem throwing out paper plates. He'll just keep buying more and more and more. Hortense, love that name, Hortense. Hi Doody, does the sun set on the dark side of the moon? How many lives does Phil have across the platform? Is he on or uses for his children's complaint show? Okay, so the first part, does the sun set? No, it doesn't. So as far as I understand, the moon is locked with, it has a locked orbit with the Earth. So the moon faces the Earth at all times. So when we rotate, the moon, yeah, I think I'm right. I think no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that is the case, except for eclipses. So if we have an eclipse, then the sun will shine on the dark side of the moon, on the other side of the moon. So yeah, so the answer is no, it doesn't, unless it's an eclipse. Okay, I think. Now, I don't know for sure. I'm not DSP. I'm not going to call you a moron. If you disagree with me, if I'm wrong, leave it in the chat. How many lives does Phil have across the platform he uses? I'm assuming you mean like members or viewers. I don't know. There probably maybe 200 den heads that actually like his content and follow his content. Let me just change the music real quick. Okay. Barrel today. Do you think either Derek or Derek's parents actually give Phil donations behind the scenes or any anonymous tips? The way Derek is treated by Phil, to be honest, I don't know what the hell is going on there in that situation. I don't know. I don't know if they have a secret relationship, you know, like via DMs on Twitter, and you know, they share interests, because I know our boy Derek likes some nasty stuff on Twitter. So maybe that's the case. As it relates to donations, I've never seen Derek donate anything ever. I don't think he's ever given to Phil a membership, nothing. So that's a very weird relationship. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. David, not a question, but I do hope you have a big upstand. Oh, thank you, Pimp, man. I appreciate that, man. I will. I'll be here chilling with my family. Actually, I'm going over to dinner with my overall family, with my extended family. So we'll be doing that for a little bit, and then coming back and chilling and watch some football. Crimson Wolf. This has always bugged me. DSP said a few years back that he was swatted, and he told the police in advance, like a year before, that he could be swatted. Do you think it's possible? No. Okay, so that's wrong. So Phil was swatted, and they came in, and of course nothing happened or whatever. But after it occurred, he reached out to his he had talked about this, and he said he reached out to someone, and someone gave him the advice, said, hey, why don't you go to your local police, tell them who you are, let them know what's going on, and then they'll do a situation where if they ever get another call like that, you know, essentially where SWAT would have to come in, that they will call him and check on things, and then they still will come out, but that they'll kind of know everything's okay. It's probably just a hoax. So I know he did that. No, I don't think so. Just for the simple fact that Phil is lazy, I don't ever see him swatting himself. For you to swat yourself, you would have to have a burner phone. You would have to be away from your radius to call that SWAT in. It takes a lot of planning, and it's something that Phil is too lazy to do. So no, I don't think he would do that. Yeah, I don't think he ever called the police in advance. He talked to the police after it happened to him. Yeah, definitely. Most YouTubers do that. Mike, what made you realize you wanted to start doing this content on DSP? I'm sure the answer is obvious, but so yeah, so I think I talked about this before. I was originally a Wings detractor. I used to watch Wings and just make fun of him, and then with the whole weight loss saga and all that, I got really into the whole Wings detractor vortex of, the whole vortex of Wings. And then let's see, I knew about DSP for a while, and the big thing with DSP was the whole when he got caught on camera, doing this little thing. And then I started following him more, more on, started following DSP, but I really didn't do any videos on that. My focus was on Wings. And then I really started doing more DSP content when he was partnered off of Twitch. I think that was like my first big video that kind of blew up on DSP. And then I just started doing more DSP, and then I started realizing how much I truly despised DSP. So I made my focus more DSP than Wings. And at that time too, Wings was barely streaming. His content was random, and there were some other bigger YouTubers tracking that, like 007 and stuff, kind of had that market, and Lumix. So I kind of made my focus more DSP, and I'm glad I did, because I truly find that man to be despicable. Jay, is Jenna right? Are Phil and Kat? No. I heard that video of her sister going off, and well, I know Phil has done some shady stuff with his previous relationships. For example, the whole Pandalene thing, and her being under the age of 18 when that relationship got sparked. So I'll just leave it at that. Urgent Go, what do you think will turn Phil in? Illness, whale snapping out of the hypnosis? 2, if Phil loses his business, do you think will you think he get a job, or try to use his back injury to claim Social Security disability? The one thing with Social Security disability is that it's very minimal. I mean, Social Security disability is probably maybe 30% of whatever you get. And I actually don't know if he qualifies for it, because he is a sole proprietor. So he's a business, whatever he's a LLC, whatever he's classified as. You can't get Social Security disability. I mean, you don't pay into the system like we do. Like someone that has a job or whatever that pays into the system, they can qualify for SSI or qualify for SSI disability, which uses your income and the taxes you paid, and there's this whole formula. I think since Phil is a business owner, he's self-employed, I don't think he qualifies for that. He may qualify for SSI disability, but it'll be at the minimum, which is nothing, which is probably, I think, $800 a month. So I don't think he will do disability. If he does lose the business, he'll have to get a job. He'll have to get a job, or for his cat to get 2 jobs. What do you think will turn Phil in? Probably him getting sick. Just him losing the ability to game and trying to then podcast and just do that. And I think that'll be a disaster. So I think it'll be that. Matt Sharp's forehead. How much would you pay to see DSP and Wings get in the ring bare knuckle? I would pay nothing. I would not give any money to either of these fools for anything. I would love to see it, but put money out of my pocket, no. And I'll be honest, there are times I've wanted to give money for the troll and stuff. Like for example, today I was gonna tip Phil the $25 for the Pokemon and call it Down the Rafters. Which is his WWE champion name. I was either gonna do that, or I was gonna say cat cat is crying, but I was going to spell it backwards so he wouldn't realize it. So I troll him, and he would just have no clue because he's just not that bright enough to identify that. Captain Wiseman, what is your honest to God opinion on Phil, Jordy, and Boogie? I'll start with Boogie. Boogie is a scammer, a narcissist, a liar. He's never been, sexually or any of that stuff with his parents. He uses that for clout, being that his previous persona no longer gets interviews or no one cares about it. He uses fake mental health issues for sympathy, and he is a garbage human. Jordy is a very lazy person. And he has burned so many bridges that he's both ruined his personal life and actually his online streaming life. So he's stuck in this kind of limbo where he can't really get a job, but streaming isn't working out for him. So I sometimes feel a little bit bad for Jordy, but Jordy is his worst enemy. And that makes me want to laugh at him and call him an idiot for doing stupid things. He shoots himself in the foot. Would I like to see a Jordy redemption story? Actually, I would. I would like him to seek mental health, lose the weight, stop streaming, get off streaming, and get a job somewhere. And just try to live his life peacefully. I would like to see that for Wings, for Jordy. DSP, I can't stand the man. I hate the man, and I hate to say that because I truly don't really hate anyone, but I despise this man. He is a criminal, he is a crook, he is a thief, and the worst part is that he manipulates people. He manipulates people and take their money. He reminds me of a televangelist who constantly scams his parishioners for money, and that is the lowest form of human there is. So I despise Phil. Which is the worst? And the worst one is Phil. It's Phil, Boogie, and then Jordy. That's my Mount Rushmore of the locales and who I find most despicable. But that one of Phil is like one, and then you get a huge drop off, and then it's Boogie and then Jordy. Love you too, Pimp. Hungarian Monkey, think deeply. What genuinely annoys you about DSP the most? Man, that list is long. But if I have to pick one thing that mostly annoys me, is the way he treats his viewers. Even though they're denheads, even though I think some of them have mental disorders and are children, I don't like the way he treats his viewers. These are people that pay his salary. These are people that allow him to live the life he lives, and he treats them like utter garbage. And that bothers me the most. That's what bothers me the most, when he's calling his viewers morons, cursing them out, basically calling them stupid, just being argumentative with them. That pisses me off the most. And then, in the next very sentence, he'll start, begging for donations. My Nama Paul. Okay. How hard is it to keep watching this content and make videos from it? The last couple weeks have just been harder to listen to his shit. Like I said before, I have a system. So a lot of people think I spend 6-7 hours a day listening to his stuff. I really don't. I probably spend a good hour a day reviewing his shit. So Phil is a creature of habit, and he has his OCD, where he has a pattern, and he has a pattern to his streams, and I know that pattern. I know that he comes on at 2:05 almost every day. I know that he's going to talk about, what he's going to talk about in what order. I know to skip over his scheduled stuff, so I can just, his 1.5 hour podcast, I can scan that in 10 minutes and get what I need and copy what I need, and know what I'm going to make content on. And then making the videos are really quick. The only time it takes me a little bit of time is in the morning if I'm doing voiceover over it. That takes a little bit of time. But as it relates to how much time I spend watching his content, an hour. And then based on the gameplay, if I'm doing like a disaster stream video, I know exactly where to watch and stop and everything. A 2 hour or 3 hour stream takes me 15-20 minutes to review, get what I need, and then make my video. So I spend roughly maybe an hour a day watching his content. And you know, he has inflections, voice patterns, so I know what he's gonna say. So I don't have to review every single minute of the video. I know where he's gonna go, I know how long he's gonna last, so I clip those pieces and then I put the video together. So it's not bad. Sometimes he annoys the crap out of me, and it, you know, pisses me off, the stupid shit he says. But you know, he's like a TV show for me. I can always turn him off and just ignore him. That's how you have to treat these locals. Treat it like a TV series that you have some interest in it, and when you shut it off, you go on about your life. Do you think Kat knows about the gambling addiction? I think she knows a little bit of it, but I think she's so in the dark, and I think for her, the less she knows, the better. Just because she would have to confront that again. And she would have to confront, okay, am I going to lose my house? Am I going to be homeless? What the hell is going to happen to me? So I think she knows a little bit of it, but she doesn't know enough. And I can see her asking Phil about it and him blowing up at her, and then her just kind of turning away and not asking. Do I think she's lied to? Yeah, I do think she's not lied to. I think she's just kept in the dark. And I think Kat is willing to play along with the lie as long as she has a house and, you know, her lifestyle continues. When that stops one day, then it's going to become a problem. The Cypher. How many bottles of gin do you estimate Pig Road drinks a day? Maybe one. Maybe one. I don't think he's a full-blown alcoholic. I think he knows that, you know, if he wants to continue doing what he's doing, he can't hit that sauce like he used to. So maybe one, maybe half of one a day, maybe. What does your family think of detracting? Are your kids old enough? Yeah, so I have two. One's 19, one's 16. My oldest knows, and she thinks it's funny. My wife knows, she thinks it's funny. She thinks I'm crazy, and they're fine with it as long as it just doesn't kind of consume my life, or I spend too much. Or the one thing is, I find myself saying a lot of DSP-isms, which drive my wife a little crazy. So I'll be saying something random. You know, I'll be talking and then just say something, blurt out something random about DSP, one of his DSP-isms. You know, I'll say the vortex of shit or something like that. My wife will look at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'll say, oh, I'm sorry, it's a DSP reference. So other than that, they don't care. They know it's kind of a hobby for me, and I kind of enjoy doing it. So do you think Jaeger, do you think our boy Phil will lose more dents as time goes on? God of War Ragnarok surely didn't help. Yeah, I mean, this year his channel has kind of just been stagnant. And if you watch my video that I just posted, that I posted a little bit ago, because depending on when you're watching this, he dropped from almost 1,000 members down to 350 members. And mind you, before gifted memberships was the thing back in March, he was at 380 members, about 384, and then gifted members kind of blew up. Since March to now, he's now at 354 members. That means for 7 months, or for the year of 2022, he is negative 34 members. That is no growth. That's the opposite of growth. And you know, his subs, you know, nobody subs to his channel. So his channel just dying. There's no interest. He's not in the algorithm, and we're partly to kind of blame for that, the Detractor. Like I've said it before, I kind of own the algorithm just because of the volume of videos I post out there and the views I get. It just drowns him out. It drowns his channel out completely. So it's funny because even if you type in DSP Gaming, which is his, whatchamacallit, his channel will show up first, but his videos won't. You'll see my videos, you'll see Snort Barnell, you'll see Meerkat, you'll see That Being Said, and then down the line you might see a DSP video, but it's rare. So yeah, I can see the dents leaving. Yeah, and he has. I mean, he lost Rob on Wheels. Snowclaw hasn't been on for a while. You know, so he's lost a few people recently. People that donated that just got tired of his shit. Yeah, that whole WWE champion thing, that video that Aqua Teal posted, that snapshot in the videos that were posted showing his phone, where you can clearly see it was WWE champions. He has gone, his spiral has significantly dropped ever since that video came out, and those footages. And it took him a couple weeks to kind of get his footing back on it, because of course he tried to ignore it, and then he kept addressing it. And then it became a bigger problem because his den had started saying, that's clearly WWE champions, why are you lying? And yeah, it really hurt him. And he still, I don't think, has he hasn't fully recovered from that whatsoever. Well, Grim, will Cat leave the Snort Fort in the next 2 years? That depends. Yes, if Phil's business implodes, so he loses his subs, gifted memberships, he becomes a partnered to the point where he's struggling to pay his bills, maybe she'll leave, because I think Kat is there really solely for one reason. She's there because she kind of sees Phil as a father figure, and she sees what's the word, it's comfort. I mean, being, you know, she has a roof over her head, which from what I gather from her past life, I mean, it's been very tumultuous and crazy. I mean, hearing from her sister. So I think just having that stableness is what's key for Kat. Everything else is just secondary. But if that stableness kind of goes away because Phil's channel is dying and he's not making the revenue that he used to make, then yeah, I can definitely see Kat leaving. She either finds someone else, or she'll move in with, I don't know, her parent or something. Or she'll be like, yeah, I'm out. I'm not dealing with this. I'm still kind of young. I can find someone else to take care of me. And yeah. Well, what do you start seeing is she'll start talking to other people, and then, you know, she'll see, oh, maybe the grass is greener on the other side, and she'll probably go for it. David Ortiz, what is the absolute worst thing you've seen Phil done personally, Pimp? Well, the camera's on. That probably has to be the worst. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, you know, he kind of took that and ran with it, where he was like, oh, you know, DSP, he got caught doing that, and he still had the audacity to keep streaming, and most people would have just closed shop and never gone online ever again. You know, they kind of praise it. I don't. That's the worst thing Phil has ever done. And he's done begging. He's done terrible shit. He's lied. But excuse me, I think that's the worst thing. What did I have for dinner? Well, since I'm answering today, I'm going to say nothing. I didn't have anything for dinner. I don't know why. I didn't have much of an appetite today. Didn't really feel like eating much. I had some lunch. I had some chicken. I had some chicken. What the hell did I have it? I had chicken on a like a quesadilla. Nothing on it, just plain chicken on a quesadilla with a sparkling water. And that's what I had for lunch, but nothing for dinner. Who is more family to you, WWE champions or Cat? I don't know what that question means. I'll just say WWE champions. Oh Lordy Pimp, real talk. When do you think Karma will finally pull up on the Snort Fort and drag Phil from the internet? I think I stated this before in the other questions. If his channel if he gets departnered from YouTube, I think that's the end of the road for Phil. He'll keep at it and try to live off of tips, but if he doesn't get repartnered with Twitch, it's over. It's over. He'll have to get a job. And I can see him maybe selling the house and downgrading. And then he'll probably keep streaming on the side, but he'll definitely need to go get a real job. Is Cat, Ryan the Zombie Guy, is Cat really? Yes, she is. That is her permanent fixture. She lives and sleeps down there, and when she's not playing Skyrim, she's crying. In real life, no, I don't think she cries. I don't think she pays much attention to Phil's life unless it impacts her. So I'm gonna say no. I don't think she's downstairs really crying. Like, I don't think she gives a shit about the whole him getting caught on camera, whatever. That's just an excuse Phil tries to use to get people to not talk about the incident. But yeah. Turtlehead. Given all the detractor coverage, you think Phil has the delusion? Oh, definitely, yeah. And it goes back to him being a narcissist. Most narcissists do have a delusion of grandeur. I mean, you can hear it in his voice when he talks about what he does, that it's meaningful. And no, you're on the internet providing some entertainment for people. You're essentially a sitcom. That is all you are, Phil. To everyone online, detractor, follower, whatever, Phil, aside from the maybe 10 dentheads that worship you, you are nothing but a sitcom. And most of the time it's a boring sitcom, but we watch it out of inertia. It's kind of like, whatever, it's there, we'll watch it. So yeah, he definitely does have delusions of grandeur, but that ties back into his narcissism. Golden Coat backup, and I apologize, my throat's been hurting a little bit lately. What triggering event made you want to become a detractor? Well, it had to go back. It went back to Wings. So when Wings, the whole weight loss surgery, I actually talked about it. I actually felt bad for the dude and gave him $100 and said, hey, here you go. Good luck with the weight loss. Because me being a former fatty and struggling with weight most of my life, I know how difficult it is. So I saw he was trying to do something. So I donated him $100 and said, good luck. He initially did it. He did the surgery. He was losing weight. I was like, hey, cool. That's good. Hopefully he'll get his life in order. He had all these promises where he was going to go back to school. He wanted to be something in the medical field. And I was like, okay, it sounds like he's finally serious about his life. And when he didn't do it, when he kind of just stopped exercising, stopped eating right, started drinking soda, started eating, I was just like, okay, this guy isn't serious. And it pissed me off. And then that's when I kind of became what you would call a detractor. And then I used to do clips of him when he was on Twitch and post it on YouTube. But like I said earlier, I kind of blew up with my video of DSP when he was the partner. That was kind of like what really got me into being a detractor. How are okay, so I'm guessing you're Psycho Spider. So how good are the Hogan pulls? They're not, man. They're not good, man. I suck at WWE champions. I play it every once in a while, and I'm probably gonna do another stream just to poke fun at Phil, but I suck at it, man. So, I wouldn't know. You gotta ask Phil. I think Phil is tonight, which is Monday. He's probably trying to go for that Ghostbuster Hogan. Milan, my question is thus: do you think that Phil is closeted gay, considered how lively and all smiles gets when it comes to talking about men's butts and peens? Also, I think at a period of his life, I think he struggled with the whole sexuality thing. So he does give me vibes of someone that does come off as someone that's not fully secure in his sexual preference. And I think it was more so if he's younger than he is now. So I mean, you've heard the stories when he was courting Kat and stuff like that. And I won't get into it here, but it was just very strange. And then his fixation for John Rambo, which is seems a little bit more than just a friendly man friendship, So definitely, I would say he struggled with that. And to be honest, most people do at some point in their life, they've thought about it, or they've questioned, or some people are just like, yeah, no way. But you stop to kind of ask yourself that question, like, am I? And of course, just by percentages, most people are like, oh no, you know what I mean? But yeah, let's see. Yeah, and he does have that scat fetish, which is disgusting. But I think that's more lowbrow humor for him. He's so relegated now to being careful what he says, because he knows he has thousands of people watching and listening to everything he's saying. and the one slip up, he's gonna get reported. So he goes to the scat humor because he's like, I'm not offending anybody talking about scat humor. So trust me, if no one reported him for his slurs, he would just be using that kind of humor. Blastovic, how do you sleep at night knowing you created a systematic bully campaign against an innocent, entertaining YouTuber? No, really, how do you sleep? It's cold as shit here. I sleep good, Pimp, and I think I actually answered you in the chat, and I said I'm an insomniac, so I don't know. I don't sleep much, but when I do get to sleep, it's pretty good. I usually have a pretty good night's sleep. Let's see, the real Jawan. David, have you seen the? Oh, yes, I did. And I think you and a few other people messaged me on Twitter about it. I did watch it. I'm actually gonna make a video on it, so stay tuned. It was good as shit. I actually sent him a DM and asked him if it was okay if I can do a commentary on his video before I go ahead and do it. I don't feel like getting copy struck or content ID'd. But everything he said with, I agreed. I was sitting there nodding my head saying, yup, that's right, yup. Norman Beige. How the little piggy denheads will grunt when they hear how old Boar suffered. Okay. Chris Johnson. Is your soulmate crying downstairs, dude? No, she's not. My wife is very content and happily she has a partner who shares everything with her and provides her with as many details of my life as possible and doesn't have this secret internet world that she doesn't know about. She knows everything. She even knows my bank account information. I don't have a password on my phone. Everything is right there and exposed. When we're driving in the car, I leave my phone in the car. When I leave, I don't have to. I'm one of those people that I don't have to worry about anyone finding out my secrets. Of course, I'm not giving a face reveal, but you know what I mean. Did Phil groom Panda? Yes, he did. That is a flat out yes. I'm sorry. The facts are known that she was underage. If you look at the timeline, she was 17 when they started talking. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was just talking, whatever. But he engaged in a relationship with this person when she was underage. So the answer is yes. Why did he read the message saying the person got the text? Like, I know he's pretty dumb, but I think what it was well, we all know that he has a Discord, a secret Discord that he uses to communicate with his mods and his dens and his paid pigs. So it may have been that what he was talking about, like a DM or something like that. I think Phil has read shit before, just in passing. He probably saw the name, right? And he knew the name. He knows who Burnt Zapata is. He's a supporter. He's given money to Phil tons of time. He saw his name and said, oh, he dropped me a $25 donation. And I think he read it. And it may have been that it was a DM or a text earlier in the day saying, hey, are you coming out to support? And, when Phil read it, or when Burnt Zapata responded, he said, oh, yeah, I got your text. Either way, why is he texting anyone? Why is he DMing anyone asking to support or any of that stuff? That is just slimy. That is super slimy, and I just don't understand why he does it. And he continuously does it and acts like he does it. Kalakaku. When do you think the whales will get bored or go broke and stop watching him? So one of the things I said was I think Phil wanted to do the interview was because he knew, or he's realizing that his channel is dying and he lost a few people. Some of his dents recently, they just got tired of his shit and just moved on and stopped supporting. So he knows, and then I remember a few video backs where someone had asked a question, oh, do you miss your old supporters? And Phil was like, oh, I don't care that they gave to me. I just missed them having on stream. And they talked about, some of the old heads like Timbo. Timbo. Timbo's still there. He's just, he's trolling under a different name. But big people that supported and gave him big money. They were talking about that. So he has to replenish that pool of whales and denheads, and he knows this because eventually they move on, they get bored, or they do something else, or they just get tired of Phil's shit. So that's the reason why he wanted to do the interview. He was hoping that he can find a new audience that didn't know much about him, and maybe, you know, if he got a couple hundred viewers of that to come and stop by, maybe a handful of them would support him or find his content interesting and hopefully become new denheads. He was essentially trying to replenish his whale population, essentially. So yeah, I mean, that's why he keeps doing it. He keeps begging, and he tries to extend himself with these things because he's trying to replenish his whales. As long as he keeps his whales, he should be okay in the meantime. But yeah, they eventually get bored, they move on. Like OIC hasn't been on stream. I know we joke a lot about OIC, but he really hasn't been on stream for a while. He pops in every so often, but yeah, I mean, that was one of his big pay pigs, and you rarely see him, you know. What happens on Doody's day off? Wait, no, what happens on Doody's day? AHF. I don't know what HFP means, man. He talks to old dude. If you're just talking about my day off, I don't really have a day off. I'm retired, so every day is a day off for me. You know, I just do stuff. You know, I volunteer. I have some businesses that I run. I do YouTube. I got my family. So, you know, I always keep busy. Chris Donor. Why does he use paper plates and why does he think it's normal? Phil is what we call a consumer. He is someone that just constantly consumes and doesn't understand the ramifications of his decision. He is the type of person that if he hears on the news that the U.S. economy is broke, right? The U.S. is broke, and there's an economic collapse, or an economic collapse is about to occur, right? And he hears Congress talking about, we don't have money to keep the government running. Phil is the moron that will say, well, why don't you just print more money? Like, you know, like money grows on trees. Like, oh, you print, you know, we print money all the time. Just print more money and then we'll have more money. Not understanding the ramifications of what he's talking about. So that's why he uses paper plates and paper spoon, you know, plastic spoons and all that, because he doesn't understand the ramifications of his choices and decision. Paper plates for a pack of 50, right? Dixie or Great Value, whatever, is going to run you $4 to $5 now. Let's just say $5. $5 for a pack of 50. And that usually lasts a family of 4 a week. Let's just say 2 weeks for Phil. So he's essentially spending, let's say, $10 a month just on paper plates, right? $10 might not sound like a lot, but you do $10, 12 months, you're talking about $120 right there. You extrapolate that out to 10 years. That's $1,200. That's $1,200 that you just spent on paper plates, just paper plates alone. And a lot of people don't do that. And I always counsel people whenever people ask me for like advice about managing money and stuff like that. I always say it's not the big things that get you in financial trouble. It's all the little things. For example, if you go to Starbucks and you spend $8 or $9 for breakfast every morning, let's just say 5 days a week, that's $45 a week you spend on Starbucks. You times that by 4, you're talking right now $160, $170. You times that by 12 months, it's big money. And then that's just one thing. So if you look at Phil and you look at paper plates, spoons, knives, napkins, all this, not, you know, like he's the type that I think he says they buy the Swiffer pads. The Swiffer pads for like dust, for mopping or whatever. Why are you going to buy, if you're broke the way you are, why are you going to spend I think they're about $10 a box, and you may get 2 weeks use out of them if you mop appropriately with that Swiffer, right? Why? Get yourself a regular fucking mop and a bucket and just use a mop and a bucket. The only cost is, you know, you have to buy occasionally, you have to buy Top Job or Mr. Clean or whatever, and that's it. And that's how you save yourself some money. And if you do all these little things like that, like, you know, okay, when you go shopping and typically you spend about $150 in your essentials, right? And then you have another 40, you know, for like junk food and stuff that you want. Cut that in half. You know, you don't always have to indulge in everything. And just Phil is just one of those people that he just has to indulge in everything. And just the simple fact that when he talks about Jasper and his fucking treats and having to go shopping at the pet supply store is more expensive than Walmart. You can go to Walmart and buy your fucking cat food, your litter, and your treats for a lot less than if you were to go to PetSmart or Pet Plus or whatever the case is. That cost is always higher. Makes no sense. You know what I mean? Cut back on the fucking cat treats. If you don't have enough money to buy cat treats every week, don't buy them. Maybe buy them once a month. Your cat will survive on just regular cat food. Alright, that's enough of that question, but thanks for the question. Mayan. I lost my like from Doody because I fixed my typo. Okay, I'll like you again. How about that? There you go. I'll like you, Pimp. Ed Fornes, do you think this pig will ever have family besides his 2 cats? No, I don't think so. And I hope not. And I think he's getting past an age where it doesn't make any sense for his situation in his life. He would be they would both be terrible parents. God, that would be horrible. Not that he wouldn't try, I just don't think he has the skills to raise children appropriately. So I'm gonna say no. I can envision him probably getting another cat just to, have one extra just in case Jasper dies. He'll have a backup plan, and that's it. And the way things are going for him, I'm not even sure if he's still gonna have Cat in a couple years. So he may lose Cat and Jasper, because when Cat leaves, she's probably taking Jasper as well. Predator Poachers, Act to the Future. Okay. I love me some act references. Act. All right, let me see. There were some other underlying questions here. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, let's check here real quick. Grand Dog, can I ask you for a channel or video name? I'm curious now because I had no idea about any. Well, I'll try to find the videos. These are old videos. I mean, and a lot of this stuff was just Detractor videos. Like I think Tevin had one and a few of those. But if you Google it, like DSP grooming or stuff like that, you'll see videos that pop up. He definitely groomed Panda. We all know that was true. He even admitted it. He tried to say she was 18, but that makes no sense. You don't meet someone when they're 18 and then like 2 months later have them move in with you. No, that makes no sense. Let's see here. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so that's everything, folks. So a very successful Ask the King. I would like to thank everyone for submitting questions. I would like to tell you this was a lot of fun. No, you didn't have to tip me. No, you didn't have to super chat me. This was just good content that I will publish, and I will enjoy the lovely ad revenue that I get from it. So thank you again. Hope you guys like this video. Hope you guys like the series. I'm probably gonna publish this on Wednesday, on Phil's day off, just so that we can have some quality content. I know it's a little bit long, my apologies, but I did answer a lot of questions. So just like DSP, I want to hint, let you know I did answer a lot of questions, and I worked overtime, and with hopefully some reward. Hopefully it won't be a little reward like Phil got for his Scorn playthrough. So all right, pimps, hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace out.